Here we are. Sorry. Happy Monday. Hi.
Everyone say hello to Leo. He might hang out with us for this morning's class. So I have a little bit of a tickle in my throat. Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Probably from all that teaching all weekend long. So
I'll probably be taking over most of this for her. So we are excited to come. I'm excited to still be here. I don't want to leave. But we're going to be talking about a certain next tip that we want to show you, but we want to play this little game that will kind of get you involved in what that next tip and if you can guess.
Yeah, take a guess. So,
all right. So
it's day 10 of our creative story tips. 10. Can you believe it's been 10 so far?
It's been so much fun having you all here. So.
Yes.
And if anybody new is here, welcome.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. All right. So we're going to share our screen. So as I go through these guys, I just want you to, this is our Instagram page. And as I go through them, can everybody see our screen right now? Let us know if you can't see our screen. Can you guys see the screen? Make sure everyone can see us. Yes. Okay, great. So we wanted to share this tip by making you guys take a guess. So I'm going to flip through these photos, and I want you guys to guess what you might think. Here, I'll even do this.
Yeah, what today's tip really, what these photos represent.
What's something that's similar in all of them? What do you notice? So if you have a guess, you can put it in the chat box there.
And let us know. And really take a gander at these photos and what's unique about them that gives it
kind of pulls you
feeling
in.
And emotion, and it pulls you in.
Yes. So I'm gonna flip back. I'm gonna pull this over so we can see this.
See here, yeah.
Yeah, Debbie's got it good. We've got a lot of great answers. So that's one of them, actually. There's
two more.
There's two more that go along with this tip. It's another great one. What else is coming up in these photos? So definitely leading lines.
Think of a feeling and being in that present moment in these pictures and what's happening.
So what you guys are noticing in all these shots, and I'm showing you landscapes, right? So Alicia's gonna show you her shots in a little bit, and the same tip's gonna show up in portraits as well. But leading lines is definitely here.
Yeah.
The other thing that you see, go ahead, you can tell them.
Yeah. Can I say the next one?
Yeah.
Let's see if anybody answered
it. So let's see. Does anyone know movement? That's a great guess, Donna. So Alicia's going to give it to you, and as soon as she says it, you're going to be like, I get it.
So with leading lines also comes patterns and textures, especially in all these photos. You can actually see texture, you can see the patterns, and you can see the leading lines, as Danielle, scroll cursor. And you'll be able to recognize this in any photo you take. I feel like most photos will 90% of the time have leading lines, patterns, or textures in them.
And you can go looking for them because they're in every scene, right? They're in all, that's an element you can find everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So when we use leading lines to draw our viewer in.
And when you're aware of it too, and you're subconsciously thinking about it, you get to like hit all three as well.
Exactly. So here's texture, right? There's repetition in the rice fields. And then there's the lines that I use based on where I was standing to bring those three elements together. You've got the leading line, but you've got texture up here.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe I don't see so much pattern in this one, but repetition is another great word to think of when you think of patterns. So Alicia's going to show you. Do you want to show them yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know what we can do?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the actual tip?
Yeah.
So when we look for lines, patterns, and textures, everywhere you look, you will see patterns. Life is full of them. leading lines and textures are also everywhere. Everywhere you look, you're going to see it. When we become aware of these natural elements that structure our surroundings, we can incorporate them for immediate impact in our photographs. This adds depth to any image, instantly drawing in the viewer's attention. So those lines, we use them to lead people to what we want them to be focused on. Yeah, that attention of that subject or whatever we're photographing.
So I'm going to let you take over.
Oh yeah, so this is a shoot that I just did recently. It's an Instagram bar. And you can kind of see leading lines, patterns, and textures throughout this whole entire shoot. Even just like right here with my friend John. Ooh, I didn't know I did that. You can see the depth, the patterns, even the texture of the wood behind him. But there are leading lines kind of angling towards him as well. Let's go to a different one just so you can see. We worked on her yesterday. If you were, not yesterday, 2 days ago, if you were in our class.
Yes, our Lightroom
class. I did an editing technique that is really cool. And if you haven't taken our Lightroom class, definitely look into it on our website. So here we go.
Here, these are great leading lines.
Leading lines here.
You guys remember the guitar player?
Yeah, this is we talked about the guitar player in one of our previous tip classes. And you can see the leading line here. Even in his shirt, the textures behind him, these lines too, I love it.
You see how the left side, even though it's in the background and blurred out, that structure of that left bar, that yellow bar kind of creates a leading line and helps you structure that shot.
Let's keep going. We're going to scroll.
I love the Winnebago.
Yeah, the Winnebago is very, very cool. I'm actually going to come up to this one of my friend John. I love that I incorporated everything in this one. The lines, the patterns, the text. Look at the texture of the grass, the texture even of the Winnebago and the lines. Like, you know that it's raised.
And how the lines on the Winnebago point you to the subject they want you to look at. So even though she's not honed in just on John, because she's got these leading lines, and then the repetition of the steps, they lead you up to his body. So lines, patterns, and textures are constantly.
The rocks and plants show more texture. Yes, absolutely.
So all three of these things, their job is to lead you to that focal point. I love those.
Yeah, those are fun. You scroll down a little more, even angles that I shoot at too. Yes. So this is an upward angle, but even the way the first guy on the left is looking, the lines of the Winnebago is kind of drawing my attention to this other guy in the photo. It's really, really cool. So sometimes you're not even aware you're doing it, but it's visible in almost every shot you take.
Even like or these line of sight is another thinking about, like giving your viewer or your subject room to see. Right? If these guys were cut off behind her, it would feel strange. But we've got these lines, and these people that she's looking towards. Those are all leading lines as well.
Absolutely. There's some cool ones in there.
Even this, see how the couch comes around them and embraces them with this back wall too. That's all leading lines. So I'm going to bring this back over. I just want to check everyone who might be joining us live. Does everyone see how leading lines and textures and patterns are everywhere? Like, can you guys who are with us live, can you imagine or think of a scene that you've taken recently where it was so obvious? It was so obvious that you had lines, textures, patterns in your shots. I know those of you who have joined us for our workshops and our in-person experiences, that's a big key element to how do we hone in on something that's important, especially in nature. what are those things that we're looking for? So you have plants, flowers. They all have texture, patterns, repetition, and lines.
Oh, we have one more too that we can.
Yeah.
Is it up here?
Yep.
That one. One sec. I shot a jewelry line recently. This is actually really neat. I'm gonna pull this over real quick. Even just this top photo right here. This is very much what we're talking about. Leading lines, textures, patterns,
repetition of those tree rings.
Yeah, the circle. So you can find it anywhere. This was just one of those like slabs of tree blocks that was just around, you know, so we put the jewelry on top. But as I was shooting this too, I wanted to shoot the jewelry in the best way possible. And for some reason, when I saw the line that goes across this block and the circle, the jewelry fit right in between that circle, and the line cut through it. And
that's cool.
And plus the jewelry itself had another layer of texture too. So it gave it this depth of field a little bit, even though I was shooting right on top of it and it was super flat.
But you also see the different kinds of textures. So by putting this beautiful, piece of jewelry with all this intricate design in it on top of something else that has a completely opposite texture, right? Like that must be glass or polyurethane.
Yeah.
So it's super shiny and sleek, and she's got it, and it's a cold color, and she has it laying against this rough, textured, natural, warmer color. That contrast of textures helps make it pop too.
Yeah, I love shooting it. Guys, this is natural light. That natural light. Those were just
I love these.
Yeah, these ones are fun down here. You see the leading line.
Yeah, right in.
To the piece of jewelry. Play with patterns, play with textures.
Oh yeah, look at the texture.
Yeah. I was so excited to have so much texture in this shoot. I worked with the natural rocks that were right on the fishing. The lobstermen came in right here at this little docking place. And I had so much texture to work with and bring that jewelry in or that subject into it. So definitely the sand.
Look at this leading line, guys. Look at just the fun of playing with an element where texture, but even just the shape. Think of shapes when you think of leading lines too. How can you mimic and repeat shapes? This is repetition. This is a leading line of repetition that pulls you in.
Yeah. And I played around. You can see that I played around here too. That's me just trying to be weird and creative.
Even these are leading lines. I mean, look how this structure is wrapping around what they want you to look at.
That was like old wood coming out of I don't even know. Look at the rocks. Oh my God, the colors. Most of our tips fit into this if you've been with us this entire time, but you will see that patterns, lines, and textures are a huge part of photography.
And if you guys have
the netting from the lobster trap, that's leading lines in itself.
So this is a great representation of how your story changes because you start to recognize elements like leading lines that you're like, wait, I have a better shot here. So she started here, but watch how she changes her angle, and now she's using leading lines to pull you in. All right. So now you've got that depth of field, but she's got those leading lines that pull you in.
Guys, I'm going to be a better photographer just from doing all these tips with you guys, because even if I was not consciously aware of doing it myself, now that I'm consciously aware of doing it, it's training my brain, to even work better when I'm taking photos.
They are cool photos, right? Yeah. And I say that all the time. I mean, of course, we love coming here and teaching and sharing with you guys. And I apologize. I wish my voice was more on par. But we get so much joy out of being here and sharing it. And I think it's twofold. It's not just that we love sharing, but we realize we learned. We get to reinstill these things into our mind, and it makes us go see the world differently again. And like we said, we try to step out of that box. We don't want to be confined to this one idea of what a story needs to look like. We want to show up to a shoot and be able to pull from this toolbox of great ideas and tips at any given moment, because we have no idea when we're going to be able to control that light or control, you know, the person or the story. So, hey, where can I find leading lines and textures and patterns? And you know, I've said this before, but notice how each one of these tips kind of leads to the next one. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for us to identify textures and patterns if we aren't already aware of the light and the color that we're attracted to, or that hero that we want to focus in on. So if you've been with us from the beginning, we're 10 days into 12 classes, and you know, every single one of these, don't worry, we will review them all in the next few. But every single one of these has been, hey, if this one is obvious, then all the ones before should show up for you as well. And we hope you guys have really enjoyed, you know, all the different ways that we're showing you how to see life through a new lens. But this can be with any kind of camera, right? You know, it doesn't have to be a DSLR. It can be your cell phone too when you're out playing. And I think there were a couple of other things I wanted to share with you guys. So
we have 2 more great photo tips coming your way, Wednesday and Friday. So every week we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
I'm going to type in the website so she kind of gives you the info about
these. Make sure you sign up for those now. That way you'll be with us. I'm actually traveling home Wednesday, so I should be back in time for Wednesday in Boston.
That link there is the next 2 free classes, guys. We have 2 more great photo tips. And those of you who might not have been with us since the beginning, we are posting these on our YouTube account now. So we're going to be resharing these videos we've been having with you guys. We have literally over 12 hours of footage to share with you. So we're going to have those up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some great photo tours coming up in Orlando with Danielle. I wish I was here with them.
We're coming up to New England too.
Yeah, in the summer, I'm hopefully gonna get to Maryland with her, and she's gonna be visiting me in New England, and we're gonna be pushing some classes there and fun experiences, and I can't wait to launch it there as well.
I think I'm gonna bring up I'm just gonna bring up the page, guys, so you can see it. You guys can all see this, the website now, right? I think I've shared the screen here. So livewonderful.com/tours is where you'll find all the great stuff that's upcoming. We now have a live calendar on the website, okay? So I know a lot of you have been waiting to hear what classes are coming up. What are you guys doing this summer? We are always adding new events, and now we are adding new online and in-person events. Those of you who joined us this weekend, the reason my voice is gone, we did portraits and Lightroom. So you can go to livewonderful.com/tours, see this live feed of classes that's constantly being updated. And then here's where you get all the great info about each class. So we're doing, go ahead.
Oh yeah, the online beginner DSLR photography on May 30th, okay? Then we have the beginner DSLR photography on June 6th.
Here in Orlando.
That is in person,
yes,
right? Okay.
Yes. So we have online and in person in the next few weeks.
And then there's a beginner macro photography. Danielle, I haven't been able to experience this, but I really want to. That's June 13th. She has another really cool photographer that helps teach the macro photography with her. That one's at.
That one's going to be here in the studio too. We're actually going to set up demonstrations and show you guys how to shoot macro, tiny photography. Her name is Julie Lee. She's amazing. She's an incredible photographer. So, and then that night,
the sunset and night photo tours are so awesome. I feel they're so valuable, especially if you're into kind of shifting through light and then sunset hours to night photography.
Yeah, those golden hours, right?
It's a very valuable class. So June 13th, definitely sign up for that if you're interested. Visual storytelling in Mead Gardens on June 20th.
And guys, these visual storytelling classes, it's really a great place to practice. So we try to multiple times a month to just give you a chance to come out and explore the beautiful places in Orlando with us and just get your camera out and practice with a pro by your side. That's really what these tours are about.
The online Lightroom photo editing class, we're going to hold these
probably again next month. So we're going to hopefully do our beginner course, our Lightroom course, and our portrait course at least every other month online, if not every month online. So look out for that. You can read more about that there.
Visual storytelling photo tours. Those are great too.
Yep. We're also doing mindful mobile photography. So if those of you who are interested in learning more about how meditation plays a huge part in our lives as creative storytellers, we're going to incorporate some mindful meditation into our mobile photography class.
And the brand storytelling workshops, if you're an entrepreneur and you're about, building your brand, this is such a great way to understand the backstory and storytelling within your brand, using your camera effectively and efficiently and telling your story. So
yeah, marketing is a huge part of that. So those of you who are doing the whole social media thing, we really just give you that foundation to how do you talk and tell stories with your photos for your business. And then of course we have our private lessons online and in the studio. So if you can't make any of the dates that you see here on the calendar, you can always, all of these classes are available in a private lesson session online or in person. So again, guys, it's livewonderful.com/tours. And I wanted to see, does anyone have any questions before we wrap up here today? I hope you guys are getting out and having fun shooting. We also have a Facebook group you guys can join. It's called the Live Wonderful Photo Community. It's a free group. It's private. Everybody who's there has been in the Live Wonderful community for a while. It's a great place to connect.
Come join us if you're not.
We'll approve you. So any questions you have now, let us know. And hopefully, if you haven't yet, sign up for Wednesday. Hopefully, I'll get my voice back by then. I'm going to close my mouth and not talk for the rest of the day. Keep drinking my tea.
Yeah, and practice and be aware of those lines, patterns, and textures. They're everywhere you look. Getting close and or not at all, and see, just play with it.
Yeah, let me end with this, guys. So I feel like everyone's getting. I know we have a few new people on here. Those of you who have been with us since the beginning or for a while, I'd love to know what tip is really sticking with you. We've shared 10 tips so far. That's a lot. You know, these are 20 to 45-minute classes. Some things stick more than others. What tip for you guys is really like grasped and like made you think differently about shooting? Rule of thirds. Yeah. That's a great one.
Yeah.
What else, guys? The one that comes back to me more and more is color. I didn't realize how much I do look for color until after we did that class recently. Filling the frame and color. Yeah, those are great ones too. So you guys can find us on YouTube and go check out those other old classes. We'll make sure today's gets up there as well. And Tiana, I hope I'm saying your name right. That's a beautiful name. Thank you for joining us today.
Tehani. Maybe Tehani.
Tehani. We are local, so you can come meet us in person and tell me how to say your name. But yeah, check us out. Come play with us. I did see a question.
The macro lens.
Macro lenses you do need for the macro class. However, I've got two other great options for you.
The tubes.
Yeah, when you type it in, you can look up extension tubes. These are between 30 and 50 bucks. Make sure you get one for your camera, Nikon or Sony or whatever you're shooting with. I really explain them in the macro class, and we will definitely do another online macro class after Julie's here in the studio. And maybe what I'll do is I'll do a quick overall understanding of macro for those of you who might be interested but want to know more about it first. Extension tubes are extenders that go between the lens and the camera body, and it allows your focal point or your lens to get physically closer to an object. So what happens is the object looks much, much bigger than real life. So they're a very inexpensive way to enjoy this whole nother world of photography.
Oh, someone got them in the mail. That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Good, Donna. I'm glad. what made me fall in love with macro photography only recently was this whole idea of stepping out of your comfort zone and literally getting up close to things and seeing them in a different way. Like, I photographed moss on a tree. It looked like a mini forest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I literally pictured like I was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and I was in this, massive forest, but the things were like this big, they were tiny. So it's a beautiful way to see life through a new lens. Macro lenses themselves range between $500 and $800. So those extension tubes are a great way to get started. Does anyone else have any? Oh, perspective. Diana said perspective. Yeah, that's huge. Change your perspective. If you need, inspiration, that's what we're all about giving you guys. Go change your perspective. Go out, shoot, have fun today.
Move around.
Move around your subject. Look for leading lines.
Or start out and then come in.
Yes, fill that frame. So go out, have fun, guys. Play with lines, textures, patterns. Share your shots with us. We love it. Our hashtag is Live Wonderful. I can't type and talk at the same time.
Yeah, always hashtag anything you post about, that we've helped you with and want to connect with. So
I see someone typing. If you guys have any last minute questions, I am going to keep drinking my tea. Thank you, Donna. You guys have a great Monday. We love you all for sticking with us and hanging out with us. We will see you Wednesday for day 11. Okay, guys?
Yay.
Bye, everyone.
Enjoy
Thanks for joining us.